Hey there. So, this message is a reminder to think about what it means to live inside your dream instead of waiting for permission. The other day, I had Chinese food for lunch, and I opened the fortune cookie afterwards, and the message said, "A vacation is in your future. Plan the trip." And immediately, my mind started running with all the places I want to visit. I have a list, the experiences, the sites I would visit, the food that I would eat, the pictures that I would take, so many different things. I was so excited. As quickly as that excitement came over me, immediately I started to feel disappointed, and then I felt sad because I said, be realistic. You're not in any position to plan a trip right now. And the idea and the vision and the dream of that trip quickly disappeared. And then I had to pause and reframe my thinking. We all have these dreams of things that we want to do, places that we want to visit, things that we want to accomplish. The list goes on. And sometimes when we look at our present circumstance, that might limit us and cause us to think that dream is much further than we can imagine. There are so many things that we have to accomplish before we can actually realize that dream. A vacation is in my future. Plan the trip. For me, it meant that I had to pivot and do things differently. So that afternoon, I decided I would just go for a short drive to one of my favorite hiking places, and I would just walk. And I came across this beautiful field of flowers, purple and yellow, and the quietness of nature. And it made me realize that sometimes I get in my own way of my own dreams. The vacation was in my future. I just didn't realize it. For me, it meant that I had to be willing to pivot and do things differently, that I could still have that same experience. I could still maintain that excitement. I could still visit the places that I want to visit. It might be different. Maybe it might take longer. But it doesn't mean that we have to wait for things to be perfect or plans to be perfectly laid out before we have those experiences. For me, that day, living in that dream meant that I can always plan a trip. It may not be to the immediate places that I want to visit. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to visit those places. It may take longer to get there, and that's okay. But in the meantime, leading up to it, I can still plan those experiences that I want. I can still have that same feeling of excitement. I can still have that same feeling of looking forward to the places that I'm going to visit and the experiences that I'm going to have in a different way. All too often, and I keep seeing these messages all over the place, people asking, what's your dream? And you share your dream, and then it's almost as if we're waiting in anticipation for someone to fulfill that dream for us. Waiting for maybe the acceptance of that dream to become a reality, or waiting for the funding, for example, to make that dream a reality, or waiting for the connections, whatever it is, almost as if all those things have to be perfectly laid out before we can pursue our dream. And in the waiting, I feel like there are missed opportunities. So this message covers a mix of things. Whatever your dream is, you're living in your dream right now. It might feel different, but that doesn't mean you can't hold on to that same feeling of excitement. And even as you have your dreams, keep working towards them every day. because you're already living in your dream in different ways. So that's the message for today. Live in your dream. Don't wait for anyone to give you permission, including yourself.